In the 5th Canadian federal elections that were held on June the 20th, 1882, the two-party dominant political system seemed to be firmly in place. The incumbent Prime Minister, John Alexander Macdonald, benefiting from a relative degree of prosperity and economic growth, as well as the progress of the Canadian Pacific Railroad and maybe the rather colorless alternative offered to him by the Liberal leader Edward Blake, was able to win comfortably another majority of the seats, 133 parliamentarians out of 211, although the Conservative share of the popular vote declined slightly to 40.4%, or about 209,000 votes. The Liberals gained 10 seats, rising to 73 parliamentarians, although their share of the popular vote fell by 2% to 31.1%. Some 161,000 Canadian men voted for them. 70.3% of the eligible voters turned out. 39 of the elected Conservative parliamentarians were still Liberal Conservatives. The Independents managed to get one seat. In total, about 8,200 Canadian men, or 1.6% of the total, voted for them. One Nationalist Conservative was again elected, but his votes amounted to only about 1,100, or 0.2% of the total. Two Independent Liberals were elected. In total, some 5,700 Canadian men, or 1.1% of the total, voted for the Independent Liberal candidates. One Independent Conservative was elected. A total of about 900 Canadian men, or 0.2% of the total, voted for the Independent Conservative candidates. And thus, John A. Macdonald was able to govern Canada securely for another term. And during this term, the Canadian Pacific Railway was officially completed. In 1885, earlier that year, Louis Riel, the mentally unbalanced leader of Métis, or French Aboriginal people in Western Canada, staged another rebellion. This rebellion, like the first one in 1870, failed, but this time Louis Riel was unable to escape. He was tried and convicted of treason and executed by hanging.